Since 2018, I've launched over 50 faceless YouTube channels. I've had 100K months, I've gotten hundreds of millions of views, and I've generated over $2 million in just YouTube ad revenue. But I've also had a lot of flops. I've made a lot of mistakes, and any mistake you can think of, I've done it. So with all of the years of experience I have in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I launch faceless YouTube channels as of today. Let's start off with picking a niche. So from 2018 to 2024, my go-to niches were celebrity news and vintage Hollywood. I made a shit ton of money when Ellen DeGeneres got canceled. I made $98,000 in a single month when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had their little court trial. Also, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, that was pretty big. But yeah, I mean, Rachel Zegler, Blake Lively, and most recently, the Diddy trial, which on the month of the trial, I believe I made over $50,000. And every single time I found a trend or I found something that was working, I would post it on this channel and I'd tell you guys to hop on it. No Diddy. But within time, I started being known as the celebrity news guy. And I kind of didn't like that because I know how to do YouTube, right? Not just celebrity news. And I mean, plus, teaching older people in my school community how to make videos about Diddy, it wasn't the easiest thing ever and it got a little bit awkward sometimes. So to switch it up, I started focusing on boring niches. I mean, I'm making videos about grocery prices, real estate, farming, trucking, and even teen pregnancies, which is a weird one. Point is, we're trying. But my whole objective is to create YouTube channels on topics that nobody else has ever done on YouTube. I want to create niches. And what I noticed is that it's kind of easier. It's kind of easier than running celebrity news channels. Because thankfully, in late 2025, Google/YouTube had an algorithm update. And the big change of this update is that now net information gain is the biggest thing, which if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much feeding Google and YouTube new information that it's never seen before so that Google can use it in AI overviews. If you don't know what that is, search something on Google and the first thing that you're gonna see is a little box that says AI overview. Most of the time, depending on your question, a YouTube video is linked at the bottom as a source. So now when you make original content, the algorithm rewards you. But anyways, if you have a niche in mind right now, like either you heard a guru mention it or you saw someone expose it on X or Reddit, don't do it. Put it to the side for a second and just hear me out. Because in the last 8 years, 99% of people that started doing YouTube automation literally just copied someone else's niche. They just hopped on the trend, which is cool, right? I mean, that still works. But I realized that only 5% of niches have been discovered on YouTube. So let's come up with something original. Let's think of a word. Let's do cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and type cheese in this search bar. I'm gonna click validate entity. Once I do that, all of these nodes are gonna appear, so I'm just gonna click on whichever I see most interesting. I like cheese making, but I'm gonna go with cheese history. Then I'm gonna expand that. The science of cheese aging, that one's stupid. History of cheddar cheese, that's not bad. Food history documentaries, kind of close. I think we're gonna do history of cheese. Fuck it. So yeah, let's do that. I mean, that's pretty random. No one has ever done it. And I mean, it could be a little bit interesting. Now, when it comes to picking a niche, like I just did, you can use anything, right? You can use ChatGPT, you can use any AI you want, or just sit there and think about it, right? It's not easy. So cool, let's go ahead and start with the branding and the authority. For the name of the YouTube channel, we don't want to do anything too fancy, right? Nothing too clever. We want to be very direct with YouTube, right? We want to tell them exactly what our channel is about. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to ask it, can you give me names for my YouTube channel that focuses on making videos of the history of niche? I didn't word that the best, but you know, whatever. And from here, we're just gonna pick a random one. I like origins of cheese, you know, it really fits what the channel is. Now that we have the name of the channel, we can move on to making the profile picture. And for that, I'm going to use Gemini. I'm just gonna open up Gemini, I'm gonna go to create image, and all I'm gonna say is create an 800 pixel by 800 pixel image, which is the size of a profile picture, of text that says origins of cheese. Make the background yellow and the text white. Make the O in the word origins a block of cheese. I think that would be pretty cool. So this is what it gave me. I'm not a huge fan of it, right? I like keeping profile pictures very simple, but I feel like the text doesn't pop out as much. It looks a little bit too basic. So I just gave it this prompt and let's see what adjustments it makes. Look at that, much better. So this was the first version and this was the second one. I'm obviously gonna go with this one. So I'm just gonna click download on the top right. So cool, we have the niche, we have the name of the YouTube channel, we have the profile picture. The next part is something that a lot of people skip, and I don't know why. One of the most important things when it comes to starting a YouTube channel as of today is having authority within the niche. And the best way to add authority to your YouTube channel is adding off-platform links, meaning that I want to go to Facebook, I want to go to Instagram, I want to go to X, I want to go to LinkedIn, I want to go to Pinterest, I want to go to absolutely every social media website, and I'm going to create accounts with the name Origins of Cheese. I'm going to put the link of my YouTube channel in the bio of every single profile, and I'm going to link all of those profiles to my YouTube channel. And if you don't know how to do that, you want to go to YouTube Studio, you want to go to customization here on the left side, you want to scroll all the way down, and you're going to see this section here that says links. All you have to do is click add link, enter the title, so we're just going to go with Instagram, and then you would copy the URL there. You want to fill this up with as much as possible. Now, a lot of people don't do this, but you're more likely to get shadow banned or not get a quick enough push with the algorithm because you have nothing backing up, your channel. You don't have any off-platform presence, and Google wants to know that you're legit. Again, nowadays, making content is very, very easy. Because of AI, everything is super easy to replicate. Because content farms start like thousands of channels a day, they post 100 videos a day, and they never touch the actual branding of the YouTube channel. But if Google and YouTube see that you are on all of these other platforms, it's going to say, okay, this is someone that's trying to create a real brand. So in the back end, that's gonna give you a little bit more of a push. But okay, let's move on to the most important part, and that is video titles and ideas. Now, what we're not going to do here is go on ChatGPT and start asking it for titles based on the niche, right? That's what a lot of people do. Another thing a lot of people do is just look up competitors and start stealing their titles and video ideas. But there is a secret. There is a way to mathematically structure your video ideas and your titles in order to get more of a push on YouTube. And this is still kind of linked to building authority. To build authority with your YouTube channel and get more of a push faster, you need to structure your videos exactly how YouTube reads YouTube channels. Yes, this is a real thing. Now, this is going to be a little bit confusing, but I need you to lock in. So, history of cheese is a semantic label on Google. And what a semantic is a code that Google gives to all the words and phrases, kind of like the history of cheese. And all of these words have nodes. And what those nodes are just other words that are very similar in topic. Now, here's the important part. There are different types of nodes. Your first upload should be what's called an anchor node. The purpose of this video is not to get 1 million views. The purpose is to tell YouTube exactly what your channel is about. For example, my title would be The Untold History of Cheese, Everything You Need to Know. Super boring and broad title, but this has to be the longest video you can make and a boring representation of what's going to come next. And by making this title my first ever upload, I'm telling YouTube, hey, I'm a YouTube channel about the history of cheese. Every single video I'm ever going to make is going to be about cheese. And what YouTube's going to do is that it's going to associate every single upload after this one directly with cheese and its history. The next node is the pillar. Every single day, millions of people search up Parmesan cheese, Swiss cheese, cheddar cheese, and they're not necessarily looking for a cheese documentary video, right? They don't know I exist yet. So my next title would be How Parmesan Cheese Became Italy's Biggest Export, whatever. This would be a pillar title, right? It targets something that is very popular, something so famous that a lot of people are searching for every single day. So technically a pillar would be search bait, right? My third video is going to be what's known as the cluster node. Now, by this point, YouTube is going to know that I am the cheese guy. YouTube also knows that I got a few views from people clicking on my pillar title. Now, clusters are like super specific subtopics about cheese, or in this case, it would be about cheese. Here are some title examples. The shocking truth about cheese making at home you need to hear. The disgusting history of cheese mites explained for the first time. 7 bizarre ancient cheese making techniques still secretly used in Europe today. How monks invented blue cheese by accident. That's another title. Nobody is searching for these. And based on the first videos I uploaded, YouTube's gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker knows about cheese. I kind of have an idea of who to recommend it to. But okay, let's move on to the fourth node. This would be the bridge. This is where we try to steal views from other niches. And here are some examples of titles. The science of wine and cheese pairing you need to know. That one's stupid. The mind-blowing food science of cheese aging explained in detail. The hidden truth about cheese tourism in France they never show. I actually kind of like that. Casu Marzu, the terrifying history of the world's most forbidden cheese. This one's a banger. In this title, we would be targeting the wine viewers. This video would be targeting the science viewers. Now, the last node, and this is my favorite one, it is the collision node. So it's still the same goal, it's to get new people to watch your video, but it's a completely different strategy. Now we're not building a bridge. This is where we full send it. This is where we would make titles like "The cheese that killed 3 people in 1928." You know, I don't know. This is the type of video that randomly appears in the homepage. So the order to upload these videos, drop 2 to 3 anchors first, then hit them with a collision, let's say the third upload. Then you drop 2 clusters, and then you drop 2 bridges. And then you repeat this process. If you need help looking for these manually, here is a prompt that you can screenshot. Just feed that to Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, and it should give you some titles in the order that I just mentioned. But okay, cool, that's video ideas. Now let's move on to scripting. Kind of the same shit. On your screen, you are seeing a very long prompt. It is a 3-parter. Let's say you're using ChatGPT. You're gonna just paste part number 1, wait for it to give you an answer, then paste part number 2, wait for it to give you an answer, and then paste part 3. And the last thing it gives you should be a very well-written script. Of course, you still want to go through, rewrite some things, look through it, double check it. For the voiceover, we are going to use 11 Labs, but we're not going to use it like everyone else. First thing we're going to do is find a voice. So we're going to click on voices on the left side. We're just going to play this one. I'm not even going to listen to it. And I'm going to click on this little box here where it says use voice. And then I'm going to go to the far left where it says voice changer. And this is where we're going to start. Now we're not going to use 11 Labs traditionally where we just drop, the script here and we let 11 Labs do the work for us. Instead, I'm going to read the script out loud with my microphone and I'm going to have 11 Labs change my voice. Now, you don't have to do this, but technically because of the human cadence and the way I speak and the pauses and the breaths that I take when I read the script does give like low-key a little bit of a push because it's not fully AI generated and they know that this is AI generated voiceover. AI voiceovers are allowed on YouTube, but this is like if you want to optimize absolutely everything. So I have my script pulled up and I'm just going to click on record audio. I'm going to enable microphone, allow this time, and click start.
This is a story of how the world's most beloved cheese became a weapon of fraud, government waste, and corporate greed. A dark history that stretches from medieval England to underground caves, filled with billions of pounds of rotten cheese that your tax dollars are still paying to store today. I'm a terrible reader, right? Right, but you get the idea.
Anyways, it's 1 a.m. I'm tired. I have decided that I'm just gonna make a part 2 for this video later. But if you don't want to wait and you want to take YouTube serious, check out the link in the description and in the pinned comment of this video that's going to take you to my school community. When you join, you're going to see multiple modules here, starting with the blueprint step-by-step, the entire course, which is all of these videos, and of course there's more in the 2026 update. I also go live once a week, and this is where I speak with you guys directly, answer any questions, review your channels, which if you join today, you can watch some of the old recordings by scrolling down and going to the recorded live sessions. There's a lot of them. And if I switch over to the wins tab and scroll all the way down, you can see that there is 664 wins posted in the community by members. But yeah, you get the point. All right, goodbye.